41-year-old Markeith Loyd was born on October 8, 1975, in Orlando, Florida. He had 3 sisters and a brother and was described to be a generous and fun person in his youth. But he also had a tough childhood, from seeing a friend and cousin murdered to complicated life choices. Markeith had a pretty lengthy record with law enforcement. He was arrested in 1966 on a murder charge that was later dropped. He was arrested again in 1998 for battery on an officer and was sentenced to more than 4 years in prison. While behind bars, he also pleaded guilty to cocaine possession from a prior case and was transferred to federal prison before being released in 2014. The next year, Markeith divorced a wife whom they both shared a daughter and son. He also had paternity suits filed against him by 3 different women.
Look, you ain't learned yet? It's raining. Look, take me home. This man still trying to speak. It's raining outside, y'all. He's still trying to speak. Look.
Take me home.
For real, you not about to kill me and the baby. This man, he has to be stopped.
See, they just stopped.
No, but no, you need a greater force than that. I'm not going to live past 25.
Near the end of 2016, he met a woman through Facebook, 24-year-old Sade Dixon. She was a mother of 2 kids, aged 2 and 8. They dated for about 3 months, and he eventually met her family and attended multiple dinners. Sade was also 2 months pregnant with his child. On December 10th, she suddenly moved back into her parents' house. She did not tell her family why she needed to move back in, but she did mention that she got into a physical altercation with Markeith. Her mother, Stephanie, previously saw signs of abuse, such as bite marks and controlling her money. During this fight, Markeith bit Sade on her back, which caused her to go to the doctor for a tetanus shot. Three days later, Sade was enjoying eating dinner with her family sometime before 9 p.m. when she received a call from her cell phone and stepped outside of the home. Sometime later, her 2 brothers, Dominique and Ronald, heard arguing outside, and Ronald went to check on Sade. The arguing continued until her mother and Dominique both heard gunshots and both rushed to the front door to find Sade and Ronald lying on the ground wounded. Markeith started shooting at Dominique and Sade's mother at the door while he ran towards his 1992 red Buick Regal parked on the street. Dominique then pushed his mother inside to safety while he tried to render first aid to his brother and sister and call 911. Tragically, Sade was pronounced dead at 9:16 p.m., only 13 minutes after the call. Her unborn child was also pronounced dead. Ronald was transported to the hospital in critical condition with gunshot wounds to his chest and both of his thighs, but would survive. The next day, the sheriff's office obtained a warrant for Markeith's arrest, as he was quickly named the prime suspect in Sade's murder. Upon reviewing his records, it was revealed that he was arrested 20 times between 1994 and 2016, along with his convictions and time in prison. Authorities plastered his mugshot on all medias, urging Markeith to turn himself in. On this day, Markeith was seen entering a Walmart and purchasing some items in a line. A witness in the store recognized his face and immediately went outside to alert a police officer that just left the Walmart of this sighting. This officer was Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, who was grocery shopping for her anniversary dinner. Soon after, the officer waited for Markeith to exit the store, then confronted him while in the parking lot. She commanded that he get on the ground, but Markeith immediately rushed behind a pillar and quickly reemerged with his gun drawn. He then began to fire 3 rounds at her, so she turned to run towards the parking lot. However, one bullet struck her in her right hip, which caused her to fall and hit her face on the pavement. While she was on the ground, Markeith moved towards Lieutenant Clayton until he stood over her. She was struck 4 times, once in her hip, another shattered her hip bone, one in her thigh, and the fatal shot went right through her neck. The whole time, Markeith wore a bulletproof vest and sustained no injuries, though a hole in his shirt later indicated that he was shot in the chest. He then fled the parking lot into a dark green Mercury. 3 officers attempted CPR on Deborah until paramedics arrived and took her to a hospital in Orlando, where she was pronounced dead 30 minutes after the incident. Once dispatch radioed the news of the shooting, Captain Joseph Carter pursued Markeith's car into the parking lot of the Brookside Apartments. As Captain Carter emerged from his car, Markeith shot at him twice, but hit the wheel cover of his car. Carter then moved his car to block in Markeith's vehicle, so Markeith used his feet and took off running. While literally on the run, Markeith approached a random man at the complex and pointed his gun at his face, demanding that he hand over his car keys. Terrified, the man threw his keys in the air and ran into his apartment. Markeith abandoned his old car and took off with the stolen one. Once news of Deborah's shooting reached the sheriff's office, they launched an extensive manhunt during which 35-year-old Norman Lewis began his efforts to locate Markeith. He was with the office for 11 years at this point and an alum of the University of Central Florida and former football player. He was described as a gentle giant who was very well known and liked and an overall wonderful person. Norman was riding a motorcycle when a Honda van, driven by a 78-year-old man, collided with him as they attempted to cross the street. He was thrown from the motorcycle and taken to the same hospital as Deborah in critical condition. Sadly, he was pronounced dead almost 2 hours later. After the murder of 2 police officers, Markeith was added to the U.S. Marshal Service list of the top 15 most wanted people in the nation. The U.S. Marshal Service also added $25,000 to the existing $100,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. Orlando's police chief John Mina expressed frustration over the fact that Markeith has somehow still evaded arrest despite receiving more than 1,400 tips. Some tips led them to believe that Markeith attempted to disguise himself by shaving his head, so a digitally altered photo of him without hair was then released to help in identification. The police chief emphasized that the search for Markeith would continue relentlessly, and authorities warned the public not to approach him as he was armed and dangerous. Eight days after the Walmart incident, Markeith was found in an abandoned house and captured by police. He came out of the house wearing body armor and armed with 2 guns, one of which had a 100-round capacity. At first, he tried to escape through the back of the home, but eventually surrendered at the front door and dropped his firearms. Helicopter footage of the arrest showed Markeith crawling on his stomach towards police officers surrounding the residence. 4 officers appeared to kick him in the head, spit on him, and use their rifles to his face while he was lying flat on his stomach before the helicopter's camera quickly panned off. It took 6 officers and 42 seconds to put Markeith in handcuffs. During that short period, Markeith seemingly lost his left eye and suffered multiple cuts and alleged brain damage. On his way to the police headquarters, he kept shouting that the police had beat him up and had to spend the night in the hospital before being transferred to jail.
What I don't want is for me to give you respect and for you to treat me like I'm a pup. You can't even sit up and look at me.
Bro, y'all just beat my ass. I don't want to hear that shit.
Markeith, ain't nobody in this room beat your ass. This is your opportunity. This is the opportunity you have right now.
Just beat my ass. I ain't coming here like this.
This is your opportunity right now to tell us the story. What happened? And tell us what happened.
Okay, so
They commanded him to crawl towards them, but instead he inched on his stomach, so officers believed Markeith might have had a gun hidden in his vest. Once he reached them, the officers felt that he was resisting arrest as he did not put his hands behind his back, which prompted them to use force. Ultimately, what they knew about Markeith was his size and strength, familiarity with firearms, and his use of bulletproof vests. He also said something to the effect of law enforcement would have to kill him before he went back to prison while on the run. According to officers, they believed that their lives were in imminent danger. The state attorney and law enforcement department's internal investigation concluded that the officers' use of force was justified due to Florida's infamous stand your ground law, which allows people to meet force with force if they reasonably believe it's necessary to do so to prevent death. While on the run, Markeith wrote a letter that was later discovered in the home he hid in shortly before his arrest. In the letter, Markeith said, "I know I'm going to die and I'm not scared to die, so I could never fear nothing. It makes me want to start killing them because they trying to kill me." He ended the letter with, "Sorry, Sade Dixon and my unborn child. Love y'all with my life and wish we could take it all back." Throughout his trial, Markeith insisted that he killed Sade in self-defense. He claimed they argued over whether she was smoking marijuana while pregnant and that she pulled a gun on him. Once her brother came out, Markeith feared for his life and fired shots before taking off in his car. However, this story changed a few times throughout his case. Sade's brother Ronald said that he came out to get Markeith to leave after he heard them yelling. In the midst of the argument, Markeith reached for his pockets, and that's when Sade and Ronald ran towards the door, but it was locked. Markeith then shot at them as he ran away, and once their mother and other brother answered the door, he attempted to shoot at them too. Sade's mother added that she was enraged when she read a text message Markeith sent to Sade's phone 30 minutes after the shooting that read, "Don't know if you're gonna make it. Hope you don't. I told you don't play with me." The defense argued that Markeith was very much a product of his environment, neighborhood, and family. This is in no way to defend his actions, but to give you all insight into his life according to his family. His young sister shared that she was only 12 years old when she asked him to teach her how to be a drug dealer because she got tired of being hungry and wanted to make her own money. He told her absolutely not, and that he does it so she wouldn't have to. His mother, Patricia, agreed that she was partly to blame for his fragmented life. His mother was physically abused by his father and admitted that she neglected her children as a single mother. She said that Markeith began stealing food to feed the family. Soon after, he would sell drugs to provide for his 4 siblings and step up as the parent of the house. Once he was released from federal prison in 2014, he became more withdrawn, but still liked to help his family. His daughter, Kiana, also took the stand on his behalf. She said that she was much closer to Markeith than her own mother, and there was nothing she didn't have that he didn't provide for her. Markeith's baby mother also testified that he was a loving father with a genuine relationship with their daughter. However, his atrocious crimes spoke much louder volumes to his fate. Markeith Loyd was sentenced to 5 consecutive life terms without parole for the murder of Sade Dixon and their unborn child. During the trial of Deborah Clayton, Sheriff John Mina received a letter that Markeith penned that wrote, "For the murder of Lieutenant Deborah Clayton, he received the death penalty. I never wanted to kill her, but I believe the police was trying to kill me with the lies they put out there about my situation with Sade." Mina described the letter as nonsensical rambling and more excuses. As he was being escorted out of the court, he was seen cussing out the courtroom. Stephanie, Sade's mother, said after the verdict, "I think I exhaled for the first time." In 2018, Sade's family launched a nonprofit organization named the 3 Heartbeats Foundation to honor Sade's memory. The 3 heartbeats represent each of her kids, including the unborn that did not survive. Its focus is to educate the public on domestic violence and support other women stuck in terrible situations. Deborah Clayton's husband, Seth, supported Sade's mother by coming to her daughter's trial, and she returned the support by showing up at Deborah's trial. After her death, he created the Stop the Violence Walk in 2023, where the Orlando Police Department and dozens of friends and family joined on Deborah's behalf. To the pain of losing his wife, he said, "It's getting better, but I gotta say it still hurts." Markeith remains on death row and is currently trying to appeal his death sentence. He was arrested in the cuffs that Deborah would have arrested him with and lost an eye. Maybe it's an eye for an eye, but it sounds like poetic justice to me. Wishing all the victims of Markeith's horrific crimes closure and justice in their verdicts. May Sade, her unborn child, Deborah, and Norman all rest in paradise. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you all for watching.